Hi, welcome to the Hidden You. I'm James Goldberg, and this is lesson number 3. In this lesson, this is the power of persuasion. Now, to many people, the power of persuasion is not a natural thing, so we have to learn this skill. But some people, especially the big business leaders, have learned how to persuade other people. And what they do, they persuade people to buy into their ideas and their innovations, such as Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. We've got Elon Musk from Tesla, and we've got Susan Wojcicki, the head of YouTube, and Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. Now, also, politicians use the powers of persuasion, where they argue for changes in the ways their countries are being run, and if they're successful enough and their persuasional skills are really good, then they will get into power. And we've got people like Donald Trump, we've got Vladimir Putin, and we've also got in there, we've got the British Prime Minister as well, Theresa May. Now, on an everyday scenario for us mere mortals, we can adapt some very simple techniques, and we can tap into the human psychology and use this to our advantage to get exactly what we want. So let's have a look at the power of persuasion, some simple techniques. Now, one of the best ways to persuade a person is to get them to feel they are in debt to you. And this can be done simply by giving them a small gift. Now, look at this in an everyday scenario. Let's say, for instance, you want to impress your boss, or you want something from your boss. Now, if you've visited that person before, and you know they drink a certain type of coffee, they might have 2 sugars, no milk or lots of milk, then if you turn up the next time with their favorite cup of coffee, by doing so, they will feel indebted to you. And you give them the gift, and then you can hit them with whatever you want. And that's a very clever way of actually getting a person to do this. You'll find this is actually quite a prominent thing. When we did a recent experiment on human behavior, where we got 10 people were asked randomly on a busy high street to buy some raffle tickets, and they were asked cold. So people just walking up, some guy just went up to them and said, "Do you want to buy a raffle ticket?" Now, only 3 people bought. Now, we did exactly the same experiment, but before we actually asked them to buy a raffle ticket, we gave them a refreshing drink, and then they were asked to buy a raffle ticket, and guess what? 8 people bought. So there's a huge difference there, because what happened is they felt indebted to the person asking to buy a raffle ticket, and by giving them a small gift, they were more likely to buy. Now, often retailers adopt this technique by giving away free samples of food as a taster. Once you've been given something for free, you are more inclined to buy when asked by the sales assistant. So let's put it into another scenario. You walk into a supermarket and they've got free samples of a new cheese or something like that, and then you take that because you're probably hungry when you go into a supermarket, and you take it and you like it, and then the sales assistant says, "Look, would you like to buy this?" A lot of people will say, "Yeah, okay, I'll add it to my basket," and then you go and pay for it, and then that's a very clever way of a power of persuasion. Very simple technique. Now, I want to talk to you about magic words. Now, persuasive or magic words, as we call them, are commonly used by people when they are trying to convince another person what they're saying is valid and true. And one of the most common words is the word because. It's actually used 91 times in the modern Bible, and politicians use this a lot in their speeches because. I'll give you a big example of this. President Kennedy, when he was alive, he used to use because all the time in his speeches. And it's because America needs this, America needs that, because we need it. Because is a very powerful, persuasive word. Also, the word imagine. It's used a lot in sales-related copy, as we are leading the listener off into whatever follows next. So imagine if we could halve your monthly outgoings. So straight away, what we're doing there is by saying imagine, the person is doing what we're saying. He is or she is imagining whatever we're going to say next. So if we imagine lying on a beautiful sandy beach, straight away you are imagining yourself lying on a beautiful sandy beach. So it's a very powerful, persuasive word which we can use. So that's the word imagine. Also, the word you, a very simple word, but it's all about you. This course is all about you. I'm teaching you how to do things. Think what we can do for you. Again, if you are actually talking to this in the context of persuasion, if you're talking in the tense of you all the time to the person you're talking about, they're imagining what you're saying is more persuasive to them, and they're more likely to do exactly what you want. The other word is easy. Let me make this really easy for you. So straight away, when you're talking to a person, if you're telling them something is very easy to do, then they're more likely to believe you. And also, it's not taxing their brain to think. And if you say, look, what I'm saying is really simple, it's really easy, then that's a magic word where you're more likely to get a decent outcome of what you're trying to persuade that person to do. So that's a very, very good word. So it's a very short lesson here, but I just wanted to show you briefly the powers of persuasion.